It was a big election night for Democrats across the country as the party scored victories in Ohio, Kentucky, and Virginia.
Yeah, right now I want to focus on the Buckeye state of Ohio. That's where voters approved a measure to amend the state constitution, basically establishing the right to an abortion, at least access to those services. Erie News Now's Megan Selensky is live with more on how voter turnout in Ohio could impact us right here at home down the road. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Mark. Tracy. Abortion legislation is now up to the states, and that comes as a result of the U.S. Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last summer. Well, Ohio is now the 7th state where abortion access has been on the ballot. Although it is not a presidential election year, abortion access has brought out large numbers to the polls in Ohio. Issue 1 on establishing a constitutional right to abortion was a motivating factor for many voters.
Ohio has a proposed amendment to their constitution, which would essentially enshrine as law the requirements provided in Roe versus Wade.
Mercyhurst University political analyst Joe Morris tells Erie News Now that Issue 1 included some of the most robust language for upholding abortion access.
Ohio is a relatively conservative state, and the tendency there among voters is to allow greater and greater restrictions on abortion. What this amendment does is essentially say, hold on, we're going to allow women to have more access to abortion, not less.
Morris says that this vote is a major Democratic win in a consistently conservative state.
But what's going on in Ohio, I think, is could be a cautionary tale for Pennsylvania, that voters may not be as conservative on this issue as they are on other issues.
In a statement, President Biden said that, quote, democracy won as Ohio voters elected to protect the right to an abortion. From the Alert Desk, Megan Selensky, Erie News Now.
Thanks so much, Megan. Just not enough time to get to every race on the ballot here in our time frame this morning. Yeah, from school board, township supervisor, borough supervisors races, a lot to digest from Tuesday. You can check out all the results by heading to our website. Of course, that's erienewsnow.com. Well, we talked about this not too long ago in New Jersey. A school recently shared that some of its students at the high school level had used artificial intelligence to create nude photos of their classmates.
Yeah, as technology constantly evolves, students, schools, parents have to balance the need to limit access and teach responsible use as well. Our Kara Jeffers has tackled this with several local schools, hearing how they're prepared to respond to incidents like this. Good morning, Kara.
Good morning, Mark and Tracy. Education plays such a big role for students, for kids, and how they're interacting with online spaces and new technology. And kids and parents really also need to know that there are consequences for the way that they interact. Not just school consequences, but legal ramifications that can come into play as well. Schools in our area are including digital citizenship classes in their coursework, oftentimes starting at kindergarten, so getting that really early start. And what is taught in school stays effective if homes are also addressing what can happen online. Several school and counselor personnel encourage parents to monitor their kids' online activity. And Jamie, co-director at the Crime Victim Center, shared that if a child is responsible enough to own a phone, they are responsible enough to have conversations about how they're acting online and maybe how to hold their friends accountable too.
It's, if they see something online, if they receive something, making sure they're going to, whoever that person is at the school that maybe is in charge of that, or go to a parent. And just, again, I got this, I saw this, I don't know if it's bad or not, it doesn't make me comfortable. So that adult can do whatever they need to do to kind of address that. Call out your classmates, especially if it's like, this isn't okay. This could hurt somebody, this could hurt you, in the future.
Pennsylvania does have sexting laws that if you are 18 or under, you can be charged with a misdemeanor if you're interacting with those type of images on your phone. Here at Iroquois, they said that they haven't had situations like that to that extent, but they are considering AI and how it should be playing, what role it should play in their school community. So definitely pay attention, have those conversations with your kids, not only about how they're acting, but what can happen to them too. I'm Kara Jeffers from Iroquois High School. Mark Tracy, back to you.
Yeah, there are consequences. Thanks so much, Kara. Let's bring meteorologist A.J. Mastrangelo into the mix as we move through this Wednesday, and we're starting to feel that, typical November cool in the air, unlike yesterday morning.
Yeah, it's definitely coat weather today for us.
Yeah, certainly a couple extra layers compared to yesterday. Most definitely as we head out the door this morning, the bus stop probably can get away with that sweatshirt. Not really expecting a whole lot of rain for our daytime. Really holding off until we get into the evening and the overnight. Bayfront Cam as we start off this morning. Cooler, as Mark and Tracy were alluding to, 38 as we start on off. Those green bars continuing on for the late morning, early afternoon. You know what that means? We'll be staying dry here as we continue moving ahead with our Oliver's Rooftop Camp. A few folks out and about on Presque Isle. Weather impacts for today, mainly cloudy skies. Not expecting a whole lot of sunshine. Best chance for a bit of it will be to start off the day and down to the south throughout our daytime. Easterly breeze about 5 to 10, maybe 10 to 15 miles per hour. Unlike yesterday, our temperatures are going up through our daytime. We're at 44 degrees by noon, up towards 50 as we head for the evening. And kind of weird, once again, the overnight going to be the warmest time period where temperatures get up into the upper 50s to nearly 60 degrees. 36 for the pickup, though, this morning, 48 for the drop-off. Not looking like you'll need the rain gear here for our daytime. Better chance of showers arrives for this evening. I'll time it all out with first one with the future cast. That coming up right after the break.
Also ahead on your Wednesday, why Erie organizations in the spotlight for autism awareness and specifically what they're doing to help families.
And Simon says, adopt me. Coming up on Erie News Now, it is Wet Nose Wednesday, and we're meeting a pup looking for his forever home. We'll be right back.
Now, first warning weather with A.J. Mastrangelo.
Out the door with our wake-up weather headlines. First thing we're talking about is the shower chances. They will be increasing as we head throughout the day, but the best chance to see them will actually come for the overnight. Rumble of thunder not out of the question either. The best chance to see the showers further off to the north. Better chance up towards Chautauqua County, northern Erie County, as opposed to Mercer County down towards the Pittsburgh area. Drying out, precip chances declining as we head towards Friday. The weekend looking quiet right now as well. Early start to next week looking not bad either. Monday, Tuesday, decent sunshine to get to that 7-day in just a sec. But one thing we do have is that fall chill. It'll be warm later on tonight into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow kind of shaping up like yesterday, where it was a warm start, temperatures decline, but then we're keeping those cooler temperatures as we head throughout the weekend. 62 degrees, our high temperature yesterday, 42-hour low, so above average for that high and right near average for that low temperature. Happening right now with our Crime Victim Center, Skycam train pushing through downtown Erie. You can see some of the buildings also lit up ahead of Veterans Day. That's coming up this Saturday, lit up green for that. 38 degrees our temperature under overcast skies. Pressure 30.14 inches of mercury. And that has risen, but it'll slowly drop because we got to deal with this guy off to our west. Showers and storms advancing through Indiana, western Ohio too, but it does look like the primary moisture will hold off until we get for the overnight, and those precip chances have been declining over these past 24 hours or so. Heading into the evening, 8-9 p.m., starting to see those showers pushing on in. The overnight, the best chance to see them work through. Then waking up tomorrow morning, actually just a good deal of cloud cover. Can't rule out a few of them lingering on, but I think by Thursday afternoon, we're sneaking into more of that sunshine. Friday looking like another dry day. Good deal of cloud cover, but that breaks off as we head for our Friday afternoon and evening. So very nice for both the second half of Thursday, second half of Friday, but we'll be seeing cooler temperatures. That downward arrow, that means our morning high temperature of 58 will be going down into around 50, upper 40s for the afternoon. Friday, keeping those temperatures going in the upper 40s for that high temperature. Saturday, Sunday, a little bit cooler there for Veterans Day and beyond. We're at 44 for both of those days. Starting to warm on up, though, for the middle of next week, up to 52 with decent sunshine for next Tuesday.
6:16 on this Wednesday morning. Erie finds itself in the national spotlight this week. A local organization is being honored for its commitment to supporting families, just people basically affected by autism.
Yeah, the Autism Society of America named the Autism Society of Northwestern Pennsylvania the 2023 Affiliate of the Year. There are 70 affiliates across the country, and Erie is home to this year's award winner. The local nonprofit is touted as exceptional in its mission to empower and educate the community, connecting families with the resources they need for life with autism.
I just want to thank our community and our families. This honor, we had the pleasure of accepting it, but it was made possible because of our community as a whole and the amazing support that we get from our donors, from our families, from our community at large. So thank you for helping us be successful and helping us continue to grow.
The Autism Society of America says our region has made great strides to further inclusion and accessibility for local community members. Clearly, they're very excited.
Yeah, congrats to everybody at the Autism Society. All right, coming up, what some might say is the coolest job to have right now. Yeah, right here from perhaps somebody in our industry. Yeah, Taylor Swift now has a personal reporter. It's all coming up in the trend next on Erie News Now. Back at 6:19 on your Wednesday morning, it is time to go trending. If you're looking to update your travel bucket list, there are some new options out there. You know, some folks, it might, Eiffel Tower, Grand Canyon, that sort of stuff. Well, check out National Geographic's cool list of places to travel.
Oh, I am all ears. So in the U.S., the entire states of New York and Texas made the cut. Specifically, National Geographic advises visiting New York City, also Lake Placid and Niagara Falls.
Right.
Texas recommended for having several great spots to catch next year's total solar eclipse.
Wait,
although,
Erie didn't make the list?
I don't know. They weren't paying
Come
attention.
on, National Geographic.
Also making the coolest for the U.S. is Miami, Florida.
Well, you know what? I like not being on the list because that keeps us, we're both cool
Low-key.
and low-key. Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it.
Well,
right.
about half of the 30 places on the list are in Europe, so
All right.
across the pond.
There we go. And this one is a job that perhaps somebody in the Erie News Now newsroom may have applied for. I'm not sure.
I don't know. A Swiftie just nabbed a dream job covering all things Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's actually the biggest newspaper chain in the country, Gannett. They just hired a reporter by the name of Brian West to cover the pop music
Okay,
superstar.
so not one of our teammates.
No, it's not Ethan Kibbe going to be covering T-Swift 24/7. Now, aside from having those reporter credentials, West apparently is also a huge Taylor Swift fan. The Gannett chain's vice president says West has the great balance between being a veteran journalist and someone who understands everything about Taylor Swift's world.
Well,
And that could be
apparently,
a tough thing to know.
I know. Well, his first gig is covering the Country Music Awards in Nashville, which is, of course, happening tonight.
All right, just jumping
Pretty
right
good
in.
gig.
Maybe we'll check out some of his initial day's reporting coming up in tomorrow's trend.
Finally trending this morning, if you're looking for a unique holiday experience, try heading across the pond.
Yeah, to the London Zoo, where they're offering sleepovers from December 18th through December 30th. Yeah, zoo sleepovers. Guests will get to stay at what they're calling a Winter Wonderland Lodge right in the heart of the London Zoo. And there's some of your neighbors right there. You'll get an exclusive tour of the Lion's Den over at the London Zoo.
Yeah, so that
Safe tour, I'm hoping, right?
you're also going to make some presents for the animals,
Okay.
toast marshmallows on a fire pit, enjoy a behind-the-scenes peek at the zoo's nocturnal residents. So, whole lot of fun to be had there.
All right, we're coming up with some pretty cool travel and vacation ideas.
Add that one to the bucket list.
Trend segment. All right, we'll go trending once again tomorrow. Right now, it's AJ talking about the path that we're on, kind of trending towards winter. It's coming eventually. We know that.
We're leading that direction here pretty soon.
Yeah, certainly already got our fair share of some October and early November snowfall, and eventually we'll see those temperatures go on down. No snow in the immediate forecast, but it is Winter Weather Preparedness Week of the National Weather Service over in Cleveland. So today, let's talk about precipitation types. It's all about the column of air directly above us between the clouds and the ground. When that air is warm and above 32 degrees, then we get rain. When it's generally warm, but you have a little pocket right below that 32-degree mark at the surface, then we get freezing rain, which falls as a liquid and then freezes on contact as a solid. The sleet, little smaller of a warmer air patch, and then that kind of freezes in the middle of the air, falling as kind of those ice pellets down to the ground. Graupel separate from that, and then when that whole column of air is below 32, that's when we get that pure snowfall. Of course, sleet and freezing rain, the two most dangerous, because black ice, you can't see it on the ground. So whenever we do get the wintry weather, not just for black ice, want to make sure we're slowing down, not slamming on our brakes, and avoiding those sharp turns. More on your local forecast coming up at the 6:30 half hour.
Mark is going to take a dog home with him.
Yeah, why not?
Welcome back into Wednesday's Erie News Now Sunrise. It's a Wet Nose Wednesday, 6:25, as we welcome in two special guests to the studio.
Oh my goodness! So we've got Kara Jackson here.
How are you guys?
We're really
Happy
great.
Wednesday.
I love when you come because you always bring the cutest animals.
How does that work, Kara? I don't even know how that works.
You know, I mean, I have a love for every animal. So Simon here is my favorite today because he is a little guy and wanted to bring a puppy.
There you go. Let's see that
He's
face.
darling.
Look at you.
Really...
So this is Simon. Simon is a 4-month-old beagle mix.
Does he have brothers, Alvin and Theodore?
Yep, Alvin and Theodore. So we decided to go with the chipmunk theme for him. And Theodore here he lives up to his name.
Oh my goodness.
So he is the smart one of the group. So he is a 4-month-old beagle mix. He came to our shelter about maybe like a month ago from a shelter in Alabama that was overcrowded. So him and his brothers were all together yesterday, but we got Alvin adopted yesterday.
So now we need a home for Simon.
So Simon goes next and then Theodore.
All right, I love Simon's coloring. How big is Simon going to get you?
He's probably not going to get too much bigger. I mean, he's a beagle mix, so I'd say maybe like 40, 45 pounds at most.
He's just perfect.
He's a sweet little guy, so he loves the snuggle.
Clearly he does. Now, I know you have so many pets up for adoption.
Lots.
So how do folks go about this process?
So you can come to our shelter. You can do an online application. You can come into the shelter and just fill it out and meet our adoption crew. Yeah. If you have a love for a certain animal, you can meet that same day. Okay. We actually have a special right now. So the month of November, we have 50% off all of our approved adoptions.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's a great time now to come in and meet your forever family.
Every single one of them.
Yep.
And a lot of cats there too, I assume.
We have about 200 cats right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, when you say numbers like that, it blows my mind. I think, where do you put all of these cats?
And I mean, honestly, every single day we're getting phone calls from animals like coming in, or just a lot of cruelty cases. So we do what we can to bring everybody in and give them, a good chance at getting a new home.
As far as Simon's concerned, is there any home that maybe he wouldn't be right for?
No, I mean, look at him. He's great.
He
is honestly just
we're falling in love with
are
him.
a lot of work.
I put Simon in my office. We snuggle quite a bit, and he just loves being with somebody. This is what he wants to do. He wants to snuggle. He doesn't really bite much, so he's pretty good with kids. He'd be great with cats.
He's not nippy. That's great.
Nope, he is not nippy.
You're so sweet. Yeah. Well, we need to get him a home. So this is all the information you need. Their location on Zimmerly Road, the phone number, the website. The website, you can preview some of the animals there if you want to kind of pick and choose who you want to meet.
Yeah, well, Kara.
We got to get Simon adopted. He's the next one, so please come meet him today.
Exactly. Yeah, he is a cute.
And Theodore's white, so he's all white.
Cute.
Yep.
There you go. So you've got some options.
Yeah,
over the
thank you
Humane
guys.
Society.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by, Kara. Let's get you outside and down into Meadville for a live look at our camp in South Main and Linden. Chilly start out there. Some temperatures dropping down into the 30s to begin our Wednesday. We've got AJ's first morning forecast and, of course, all of those election results. When Erie News Now Sunrise comes right back.
This is Erie News Now.
We are hanging out in the First Warning Weather Center with the birthday boy himself, and not a bad forecast today.
Yeah, it definitely could be worse. It could be raining. It could be snowing, although I would actually enjoy that
you would
just
like
a
that.
little bit. But we'll be seeing some pretty stereotypical early November weather here across the region. Gray skies, but staying dry, so no complaints regarding that. 38 degrees as we start off this morning with our Gary Miller at the mall cam. A little bit more busy on Upper Peach Street as folks get out and about across the region. More of those green bars continuing on as we head throughout the late morning, early afternoon. So that means we'll be staying dry here as we continue to see the lights going on. What is that? Wendy's down there getting ready for breakfast at this time? Making me hungry. Let's talk about what's going on against regional conditions. 28 degrees in London, Ontario. So cooler across the lake. We're seeing a little bit more clearing skies, but this precipitation as it pushes further eastward, not really going to be hitting the ground as we do have a lot of dry air in place. In the past 24-hour temperature change, remember yesterday morning waking up temperatures upper 50s to nearly 60 degrees. Well, we've done a complete 180 with those temperatures a good 10, 20, 25 degrees below what we were at yesterday morning. Expecting to see a cooler afternoon as well as a result. 36 degrees, chilly start this morning, mostly cloudy skies. Could see a shower or two around 4 p.m., but the better chance comes for the overnight as we head into our Thursday morning. More on your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Let's check our top stories, beginning with the results from Tuesday's municipal election. Yeah, lots of vote counting going on yesterday from Erie down to Harrisburg.
The big race at the state level here in Pennsylvania was an open seat on the state Supreme Court.
Yeah, this one had the candidates spending millions of dollars on ads. You probably saw them over the past couple of months. Some reports are that this could be the most expensive state race ever here in Pennsylvania. Democrat Dan McCaffrey came out on top, defeating Republican Carolyn Carluccio, basically expanding the Democrats' majority on Pennsylvania's Supreme Court. McCaffrey with a little less than 53% of the vote compared to Carluccio's 47%. Carluccio is a Montgomery County, Pennsylvania judge. McCaffrey is currently serving on the state Superior Court. The Associated Press reports that these two candidates spent at least $22 million on the race. So Democrats now have a 5-2 majority on Pennsylvania's 7-member Supreme Court.
The biggest race on the Erie County ballot was for a spot as Common Pleas Court judge, another one that had the candidates spending a whole lot on ads.
Yeah, local attorney Pete Sala came out in the winner in that race, just under 58% of the vote. The margin of victory fairly sizable, just under 10,000 votes. Lots of his supporters cheering on Sala last night as those results came in, as he talked with our Lisa Adams. The Democrat fought off a challenge from Republican attorney Eric Mikovich at Sala's second run for the Erie County bench.
Being a solo practitioner, you're dealing with people, the common person who's coming into your office with a problem. And that's what I've done my whole career. I've been in private practice since 1995, representing people from all walks of life. And when you understand people from the county, you're better able to understand and judge the circumstances that bring them before the court, and then find, hopefully, the best resolution you can.
Another new face is coming to Erie County Council as we check the results in the 3rd District. That's where Democrat Rock Copeland picked up the win over Republican challenger Kim Hunter. Copeland with a little more than 63% of the vote in that race.
I want to add stability into our county government. Right now there's been a lot of chaos. Erie County is getting a little bit tired of the constant chaos and struggles in county government. I want to add in some stability, make sure that we're building real plans for longevity, long term, and not just shifting dollars around.
Meantime, an easy win for the Democrat in Erie County Council's 1st District. That's where incumbent Democrat Terry Scatella picked up almost 60% of the votes to defeat Republican challenger Cody Faust. All the county council races up for grabs on Tuesday were for 4-year terms in office.
No surprises to report in the race for 3 spots on Erie City Council. Democrats Ed Brzezinski and Tyler Titus are back for another term. Fellow Democrat Kathy Schaff will make a return to council after picking up the most votes in that race.
Meantime, the race for Erie County Controller went the way of the Democrat and the incumbent. Kyle Faust scored a big win over Republican challenger Wade Root. Faust touted his 20 years of experience in Erie County government during the campaign, so he wins another 4-year term in office. That margin of victory for Kyle Faust, just under 10,000 votes.
It looks like little over a third of all registered voters in Erie County made their voices heard on Tuesday. Voter turnout in Erie County just over 35%. More than 42,000 votes were cast in person Tuesday, with more than 18,000 Erie County voters going with the mail-in route. And it was a big election night for Democrats across the country as the party scored victories in Ohio, in Kentucky, and in Virginia.
Yeah, specifically in Ohio, voters passed a measure that will commercialize, regulate, and tax the use of the adult use of marijuana. So Ohio now the 24th state to legalize recreational marijuana. Buckeye State voters, though, also approved a measure to amend that state's constitution, basically establishing a right to an abortion, that women can have access to those services.
And our Megan Solinsky joins us live with more on the voter turnout in Ohio and how these votes impact us right here at home, too.
Good morning, Mark and Tracy. Abortion legislation is now up to the states, and this comes as a result of the U.S. Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last summer. Ohio is now the 7th state to have abortion access on the ballot.
Abortion legislation has proven to be, over the last year, a real motivating force for Democrats.
Although it is not a presidential election year, abortion access has brought out large numbers to the polls in Ohio. Issue 1 on establishing a constitutional right to abortion was a motivating factor for many voters.
Ohio has a proposed amendment to their constitution, which would essentially enshrine as law the requirements provided in Roe versus Wade.
Mercyhurst University political analyst Joe Moore